JP sent me a DM and he told me that God gave every one of us an asshole to remind us that we're all full of shit. The real question is if we're man enough to own our shit.
Welcome back to the JP Reacts channel, my freedom-loving friend. That is the Liver King giving me a little shout out based on a DM I sent him. I'll share that with you in a second. But first, why the hell did I send the Liver King a DM? It's a very supportive DM. I've previously made videos calling out the lies that he told. And the reason why I sent him a DM is, to me, it's important to both call out lies, but also give people support when they deserve support. And in my best discernment, the Liver King qualifies for that. I'll tell you why in just a second. But first, a 30-second recap of the situation. Last month, beginning of December or so, the Liver King has found out, bro, the guy's on mega amounts of steroids. He's always claimed he's not on steroids. He's deliberately said that to people. He has deliberately misled people. Then a content creator named Derek, More Plates, More Dates, found email evidence, like cold hard proof, like, bro, you are on a tremendous amount of steroids. He published it, and then the Liver King world starts to crumble a little bit. He was found out. Then the Liver King makes public apologies. He owned his He owned his lies. He 100% confessed it, owned it. And, one can speculate, was he just saying the right PR things, using self-ownership as a PR strategy? Was he 100% genuine with it? I don't know for sure, but it started to look more and more genuine to me. So this guy who went through a tremendous amount of adversity, all 100% self-induced with the lies that he told, then did something that I admire. One of the number one things I admire in people is when they own their shit. When they look at a situation, in my opinion, any strong leader looks at a situation when something goes wrong, the strong leader says, that's my fault. The weak person blames. So I love self-ownership. And as I saw him do more and more of that, I was just feeling a natural inclination of support. So I reached out to him via Instagram DM, and I sent him the following message. Oh, and just a side note, I'm only sharing this private communication with the Liver King because he spoke about it. I take confidentiality between people extremely seriously, but because he published the sentiments of this information, even though it came from me, that's my gateway of permission to speak about it and show you it. So here it is. Message to the Liver King, December 9th, 2022. Yo, brother, I know you've been weathering this storm and you've got the shoulders to do it. Just wanted to send you a little love and support and let you know how you are owning everything is very inspiring. All in all, just as potent of a lesson you are sharing with the world as any of your other lessons. I hope you can see the silver lining and gift you are giving young men via how you are handling this adversity. And as you know, none of us are without our faults and f***ups. I believe God gave us an asshole to remind us that we're all full of shit. The question is, are we man enough to own our shit? I appreciate how you are owning yours and sending you love and support, brother. To which the Liver King a few days later responded via Instagram story, and I'll play the full clip for you here.
Good morning, Primals. I get thousands of DMs a day, and as of late, there's been a lot of love and support. JP sent me a DM, and he told me that God gave every one of us an asshole to remind us that we're all full of shit.
That's true.
The real question is if we're man enough to own our shit. I appreciate all the love and support, even the hate, which I own too, accept, and deserve. Primals, this is not if we make a mistake. When we make a mistake, you better own the hell out of it and lead yourself and your respective tribe to a better life.
Then he goes on a little bit more into his primal stuff, but why this matters to me is I love to support people when they deserve it, and having that support received also means a lot to me. So his Instagram story, it didn't really mean a lot to me in the sense of like, he's exposing me on his platform. Like, that's good. Like, nah, my platforms are bigger than his. Not to get into comparing contests. But it touched me because it helped me realize my support was received at some level, which I personally really appreciate. And I imagine you have experience in your life, both sides of the coin, where you're earnestly trying to support a person and it's not received. Doesn't feel that great. And then other times I'm sure you've had the experience where you're trying to support someone and they do receive it. That feels awesome. You get to contribute in some way to their betterment. And I love that. So one thing I'll never support is the lies. One thing I will always support is the good part of a person. And for me, the Liver King, he certainly has progress to make, working himself out of the part of him that told public lies about not taking steroids for a long time. I don't support that part of him. So I'm not going to be like, hey, Liver King, like next time, here's how you could lie better and get away with it. I don't want to support that. But there's another part of him that is as much a part of him as any other, and that's this earnest, honest part of him who, for me, exhibits a quality of great leadership where he's unapologetically owning his shit. That's the support of him. That's the part of him that I was attempting to support. And it seems like it was received, which for me is a beautiful win for humankind, from one man's heart to another man's heart. And then following up, allegedly, the plot thickens a little bit for the Liver King. I've heard through the grapevine there's a class action lawsuit coming out against him, like $100 million lawsuit where people are suing him for misleading claims. Because the Liver King, he sells a bunch of liver supplements. Hard to imagine with a brand name like Liver King. And based on what the Liver King has said, he does over $100 million a year in revenue. So he makes a lot of money from liver supplements. And the class action lawsuit is claiming, I don't know if it's frivolous or if it's like really solid and has a chance of success, but what it's claiming is, hey, you misled people and said, hey, to the effect of, if you like my body, you too can have a body like this if you take my supplements. Now we find out like, oh, you have a body like that because you're on a lot of steroids. That's a misleading claim. We're going to sue your ass off. So I, to my knowledge, the Liver King, he never made direct claims like that. Could those claims have been insinuated? Is that reasonable? I'm not sure. I guess that's going to be for the courts to decide, but that's the latest I've heard on the Liver King saga. Seeing someone exhibit bad behavior, yet not basically self-identifying their whole being to that bad behavior, but seeing like, oh, they've owned it. They're seemingly making an earnest attempt to rise above it. And I wanted to support the good-natured part of him to help reinforce that and how awesome that is. And then to see the support received, icing on top of the cake. Don't do steroids. I am on testosterone replacement therapy, though. I will own that. And man, it has been very good for me. Been on it for 3 years. Clinical supervision, not mega doses, but like actually longevity-inducing doses. So that's something I don't hide. In fact, I'm very proud of it. And if it's right for men with a proper guidance, I see it as like a very powerful tool. Not right for everybody. So don't do steroids, but I do testosterone. See you next time.